All right, class, we're going to look at how we can get started on this project and where you need to go. So in Google Classroom, in your period, you're going to look at this and find where the Unit 2 project stuff is. First thing you're going to want is where you collect the data. That's day 28. We'll click on that. And this is the document that Google Sheets doc is the one that you would have collected your data on. So you open that up, and then there it is. You have all of your problems. Make sure you have each column detailed to your project. So this is an example of somebody that did hours working per week and their grades in school. Okay. On the side, if you want to put the names of the students that you selected, or for you, whatever project you have, if you have like states that you are looking at or players, you can put their names on the side here, right? So this person could have been whatever, person 1, person 2, student, whatever, and you could put that on the side, but we need to have the numbers. You don't need to have this. Okay, so this stuff is not as necessary. So we're not going to worry too much about that. What you do have to have is 12 sets of numbers, right? So it says 12 sets of coordinates here. You have to have at least 12. Okay, let me look at this. In the instructions. So you want to have all of these lines filled out. So you have the words at the top, what it is, hours per week for the X, grades in school for the Y. And then you fill in the numbers here, all the way to here, each set. So now, once I've done that, I can then go back and start my project. So we go to the final project here. All right, we look at the instructions, review the instructions. We have to answer 11 questions in the slides presentation. So that means I have to go open the slide. And that's the one that's titled with your name, and then it says Stats Unit 2 project. Okay, it won't necessarily be posted here. It could be posted on the side for you for the student view. Right now you're looking at the teacher view. Okay, so you click on that and it goes to here for your instructions. Okay, so we do that, and then we look at all the instructions. We read through, and we notice number 1 is to make a cover slide. Identify which of the variables is explanatory in response. Well, if I don't know what that's really asking for, I can go back to the instructions and notice there's an exemplar right there. Okay. So what am I looking at? I'm looking at this here, the exemplar project. Okay, so I can go to that, click on that, and it opens up, and you can open that into a new window so it's on a different window. But I'm looking at this now so I can see some ideas on how I can make my slides. Okay. So that's the first slide, and it talks about the explanatory variable for this example being number of times sacked, and the response variable right here, number of interceptions thrown. So then I go back to my slide and I create a new slide. That's the basic thing that I'm going to do. You can do a whole new slide. You can make a whole new presentation and get a whole set of themes or something like that. Click on that, right? Or you can stay on this with the instructions and just add a new slide. So I click new slide. Okay. And it'll start a new slide, right? And if I don't like the layout, I can change the layout up here. Okay, and it gives me a bunch of different options for layout. Maybe I just want it to be title slide and I want it to have some color. So I click on that, and there you go. So you can start. And now we're going to talk about our project. All right. You can go back to your set of data and notice like what is it that we're talking about. If that's, it's your project, you know what you're talking about. Well, we're comparing hours of work to the grades in school. That's what we were comparing. So that's our title, right? Does hours worked or hours at work affect grades? And that's my idea, right? So then I can actually do that. And then I can notice that in the exemplar, I also included what the explanatory variable and the response variable is. I can do that on this slide, or I can make it and put it here in the other slide too. It's up to you. But if I want to just kind of follow that example, I'm going to insert another text box here because I don't want it to be the same as this. So this is this item here, text box T, or you can go to the insert and you'll see that it says text box there. So I click on that. And notice I can put a new text box in here. And if I want to type it out, I can type it out, or I can go back to my table, highlight that, copy. Notice the shortcut to copying something is Control-C. Or if you have a Mac, it's Command-C. So I copy that, come back here, and paste it right into this. Now, what buttons did I just push to paste? Control-V. If I come over here and I show what I just did, Control-V, that is for paste. See it? And that's something you're going to want to know how to do, Control-V. It's your shortcut. So if you want to make it bigger, you can. If you want to leave it there, that size, that's fine too. But if you want to make the fonts bigger, if this is highlighted, you click the plus sign, keep going higher, 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 right? You can make this bigger. Those arrows, all that good stuff, okay? So that's the first slide. Now I can go back to the instructions, see what I have to do for the next slide, right? Next slide, collect data. All right, well then let's collect the data. Well, we already did that. In this group of numbers, we collected the data. All right, so now we're going to talk about what the data is. We already have the table. We're going to just highlight that by clicking on the first box. See there, it started here in this box. I clicked on it and then I held it down to highlight all the boxes. Now we're going to copy that table. Control-C for copy. And I don't think I'm going to have space to add this to this. So I'm going to add another slide. All right. So I go back and click that plus sign. Now I don't think I need another title slide, right? Maybe you like this, maybe you don't, okay? But if I want to change the theme, maybe I just want something that has a simple title, right? So I just click on that. And then I can say what this is. It's a table of 12 students. Number 2, right? That's what it's asking for, all the data that we have. You go back to the instructions to check, collect data, and show table of coordinate pairs. Okay, so we did that. We went here, we copied, and we don't click on any boxes. We just are on the slide. The slide that we wanted is highlighted. So then I Control-V to that. You don't need to link it. If you do, it's fine. I don't think it's going to mess anything up, but you don't need to link it to anything. And we do it this way because this just pastes the table just like it is, right? I don't need to worry about formatting or anything. I can find the edge of the table with this and then see that I've got the arrows. I can click on it and move it as I need to. And there's my table. Okay, and then you keep going, right? You go with the instructions. The next is the graph and the slot and the figuring out how to do the graph and the best fit line. So that's something that you can reference in some of the other things. So if you don't remember how to graph something and how to download a graph, you can come over here and see we have some instructional videos to help you right here. All right, so help learning how to make a graph and the equation of the best fit line. So you can click on that to help you with that. As you go through the instructions, you'll notice we have to do some interpretations here, like describe, interpret, all of these things. If I don't remember how to do that, I can go back to the instructions and notice here it says stuff about interpreting R and Y intercept and stuff. And then the last thing is the residuals. So if I don't remember how to do that, I can reference that there. All right, and you can use this as well as a reference. So you see the table, you see what they have here, all of this stuff. The one thing that you probably don't need when you're looking at the exemplar is this data set here. If you don't know how to screenshot and have that, you don't need to include that there, okay? It's just there as like a reference so you know where these numbers came from. This came from here, you know, this number came from here, that kind of thing. All right, and you don't need all the decimal points. You can just give me 2 decimal places if you have it. All right. All right. Good luck. Always reach out to your teachers with questions and help.